Ukraine will purchase 100 to 150 Swedish JAS 39 Gripen fighter jets from Sweden, the Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson said on Saturday. Posting on X, Kristersson revealed that relevant agreement was reached with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Wednesday during the meeting in Linköping, home to the defense company Saab, which is the maker of JAS 39 Gripen fighter. "We are helping Ukraine defend freedom against Russia. We are doing it for their sake, but also for our own. We still don't know when this war will end. We only know that how it ends will affect our security for at least a generation to come. And future generations should know that we stood on the right side of history. To be able to defend their country in the long term, they want the world's best fighter aircraft," Kristersson wrote. Zelensky described as a historic step Ukraine's agreement with Sweden over JAS 39 Gripen fighter jets. He said Kiev was counting on 150 such aircraft, and the first are expected to arrive next year. "Gripens for Ukraine are part of our security guarantees, an air force capable of fully protecting our skies. There has never been a combat aviation deal of this scale for Ukraine before. This is a historic achievement," Zelensky posted on X. JAS 39 Gripen fighter is a globalized surveillance aircraft, missile systems, anti-tank infantry, weapons and other equipment. Gripen fighters' supply to Ukraine has been under consideration over the past 2 years but was suspended to enable Ukraine to focus on the introduction of US-supplied F-16 fighter jets that were deployed last August. "We have started to work to obtain Gripens to Ukraine and expect the future contract to allow us to acquire no less than 100 such jets," Zelensky said during the meeting in Linköping. Saab has not revealed yet what a deal with Ukraine would be worth. Gripen is a fourth-generation light single-engine supersonic fighter jet that has been in commission since 1990s and has been upgraded multiple times.
Разом зі Швецією Україна значно збільшить свою бойову авіацію. Це амбітне завдання, його треба виконати. Зараз дійсно історичний крок. Домовленість зі Швецією про бойові літаки Gripen. І це хороший вибір. Сильна авіаційна платформа і добре підходить для українських умов. Gripen може виконувати завдання в складних умовах, використовувати різні злітно-посадкові смуги на десятках оперативних аеродромів, що дуже важливо в нинішніх умовах. Ще один із плюсів – економічна складова. Літак – один із найдешевших в експлуатації в своєму класі. Бойові характеристики не поступаються F-16, а номенклатура озброєння – це різні авіаційні засоби ураження, що є на озброєнні країн НАТО. Ми розраховуємо на 150 таких літаків для України, і перші мають з'явитись вже наступного року. Gripen для України – це частина наших гарантій безпеки. Такі повітряні сили, які зможуть захистити наше небо на 100%. І такої масштабної угоди щодо бойової авіації для України ще не було. Історичне досягнення. Ми працюємо, щоб повністю реалізувати. Швеція. Дякую.
Since 2014, at least 125 Russian service members from occupied Crimea have been captured, with the majority likely being citizens of Ukraine. These figures are provided by the President's office in the Autonomous Republic of Crimea, directly confirming the scale of losses and captivity in the region. Confirmed the capture of at least 125 Russian servicemen from Crimea. The majority are likely Ukrainian citizens, the President's office in the Autonomous Republic of Crimea said. According to the office, at least 2,235 Russian service members from units stationed in Crimea have died in the war. Of them, 132 are likely Ukrainian citizens. This information underscores the scale of losses among the occupying formations and the broader consequences of the war. Monitoring such data highlights the heightened tensions and losses resulting from the war, particularly among those from occupied Crimea who were involved in combat. Since the beginning of the temporary occupation of Crimea, Russia has applied its own legislation on military service to this territory in violation of international law. The mission of the President of Ukraine in the Autonomous Republic of Crimea reported that Russia started the 22nd illegal conscription campaign into its armed forces in the temporarily occupied Crimea. The 22nd conscription campaign is currently underway, running from October the 1st through December the 31st, 2025. The exact number of individuals targeted in this latest drive remains unknown. Since the beginning of the temporary occupation of Crimea, Russia has applied its own legislation on military service to this territory in violation of international law. The mission recalled that an illegal, forced conscription of residents into the Russian armed forces is being carried out, which directly violates the provisions of the Fourth Geneva Convention and qualifies as a war crime. Russia has illegally conscripted at least 53,000 residents of occupied Crimea into its armed forces through 21 recruitment campaigns since annexing the peninsula in 2014. Russia has significantly expanded its conscription apparatus since 2023 through legislative changes that digitalize military registration. These include creating a unified register of conscripts and introducing electronic summons, and that became operational in occupied Crimea in May 2025. The system allows conscription without physically delivering summons to individuals. New provisions enable conscription decisions throughout the year, with Russia planning to transition to year-round conscription in 2026. The occupation authorities have prosecuted 626 Crimean residents for evading illegal military service since 2015 under Article 328 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, with 317 cases initiated after February the 24th, 2022, when Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Courts have handed down 515 convictions, issued 56 fines, and closed 7 cases due to active repentance. In total, 570 individuals have been held accountable, 567 for evading military service, 1 for evading alternative service, and 2 for assisting evasion. Fines ranging from 5,000 to 50,000 rubles comprised 86.8% of sentences. 10 individuals were convicted repeatedly for evasion, including 1 person convicted 3 times. 7 cases involved prosecution following a previous fine. Crimean Tatars face disproportionate persecution, accounting for 32% of those convicted, despite being a minority population. The mission highlighted that while convictions formally exempt individuals from mandatory military service until sentences are expunged, this does not prevent mobilization because the relevant article is not included in exemption lists. The mission of the President of Ukraine in the Autonomous Republic of Crimea noted that none of the published illegitimate court verdicts reference or apply the Fourth Geneva Convention, indicating a complete disregard for international humanitarian law norms, according to the report.